Hello, my name is Dee. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome back if you have been here before. So today we are going to be doing a quick reading on what it is that they want to say to you. So we are going to have three piles as always. Pile number one will be with this Herkimer diamond. Pile number two will be this gold stone. And pile three will be moss agate. Okay, so what we are going to do first is get into the current energy of the connection. I'm going to use an oracle deck. I'm basically going to base this off of a reading that I offer, a messages from your person reading, where we get into a little bit of the current energy of the connection, and then we get into some messages and what it is that they would like to say to you if they, had the opportunity or the courage to say it to your face. Okay, so with that said, let's jump right into pile one with the Herkimer diamond. We are going to use this oracle deck. It's the Love Oracle cards to get a feel for the current energy of the connection. Okay, so the first thing to jump out was the Grim Reaper, which is indicative of that this relationship might be over. This might have been, the person that is on your mind might be an ex. Okay, the card says on it, the relationship is over, no second chances, grow and transform your life. Again, that to me would indicate that the person that you have on your mind, or the person that, would be saying this to you, would be somewhat of an ex to you, or somebody that you are in separation with. The next card to jump out, though, is the card Love, which indicates unconditional love, but it also is indicative of self-love and healing process after a breakup. Okay? So to me, this would indicate, especially since it's the current energy of the connection, and it's meant to be picking up on both of your energies, this would indicate that at this point, the two of you perhaps still have a lot of love in your hearts for one another, but you are both engrossed in your own healing processes. So to me, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is probably a no contact situation at this point, and if there is contact, it might be very minimal. Wow. So the next card to jump out is Cassette. And the Cassette card brings forth on it replaying events over and over in your head. And again, I feel like this is perhaps happening on both sides of the connection. I feel like the both of you have some regrets when it comes to this relationship. Okay, just going to try to get one more card from this deck. And two more popped out. But before that, we had the Ascending card. The Ascending card is speaking of learning from past experiences. So very similar. Even the cassette tape card brings up outdated thinking and how we might be conditioned to, like, we might be conditioned to certain things or to act in certain ways in our relationships. And that's pretty much because of past baggage and past trauma. Okay, that you might have grown up seeing people act a certain type of way with one another, whether like some type of guardian figure or parents, aunts and uncles, and so on and so forth. You might have seen certain people enact certain patterns that are unhealthy, and that unhealthy relationship is now like basically baggage that you're taking with you into your relationships. And the same goes for past relationships that you or this person has had. There might have been some unhealthy or toxic behaviors in these past relationships that you haven't exactly let go of. Certain things that you might be conditioned to. And just an example of it, because we also have the Altered View card jumping out last, and the Altered View card speaks to, again, conditioning. That your past is influencing your current situations. And I feel like, just to use an example, this to me could be if, let's say, you had one parent that was abusive toward another parent. that abuse might have been somewhat normalized to you, and it might be something that you fall into if you're not aware of it into your adulthood. Let's say, especially if it's something like emotional abuse or the silent treatment, you might have seen that play out between people that you were growing up around, and you just considered that to be a normal behavior that occurs in adult relationships, even though it is not normal. And that's basically what's coming through here. I'm just trying to give like a solid example that I can come up with, but it could literally be anything that is influencing past behaviors that you have witnessed, past behaviors that you have settled for in other relationships, have influenced this connection. And that's on both sides of this connection. So the cassette tape bringing up outdated thinking and conditioning, it could even be, gender roles, let's say, like unhealthy gender roles. Like if this is an ex and you were expected to, if you're a woman and you were expected to, clean the house, clean up after them, and so on and so forth, even though you worked 50 hours a week yourself, that could be an outdated form of thinking and something that you were conditioned to because, let's say, maybe your mother did that for your father. And again, insert guardianship where it is necessary or however it resonates. But that's basically what's coming through here, is that there was toxic behaviors that you have been a witness to, toxic behaviors that you have been a part of, from witnessing other relationships throughout your childhood and your adolescence, as well as being a part of your own relationships into your adolescence and early adulthood. And now those are patterns that also affected this connection. Okay? And we have the ascending card, and we also have realize your light. So the ascending card is indicative of learning. It's about learning from your past. Okay? Both the cassette tape and the altered view do bring with it this message, especially to see all three of these cards jump out together. It does indicate to me that the two of you in your time apart, where you have been focusing on self-love, where you have been focusing on growing and transforming your life, and really just focusing on yourself at this point in time, you've realized and begun to see things differently, to see past that past conditioning, basically. And with the realize your light card, this is again indicating you focusing on your own healing, you not perpetuating these same patterns into your next relationship. Or if there's, between you and this person, not allowing, the two of you have allowed this past conditioning to affect this relationship at one point or another. And that's something that the both of you are starting to ascend from. You're starting to ascend from and learn from your past behaviors so that you no longer bring them with you into your next relationships. So right now, again, seems like a no contact situation. Seems like there was a lot of issues when it pertains to past conditioning, past trauma. It seems like both of you brought in a fair amount of baggage from past situations that you were either a witness to or a part of into whatever this connection was between the two of you. And now that both of you are very much so focused on your own healing. Okay. So now we're going to get into the messages. And the first message that jumped out was, how could you still love me after all that I've done? And I find that very interesting with the love card bringing with it that message of unconditional love. Okay? The next card to jump out was I got spooked. And I feel like that's important because if you ever challenged this person, especially if they had this outdated thinking, if you ever tried to, I know this is a bad way to put it, but it's like if you ever tried to correct them or they ever tried to correct you, if there was something that they were not happy with, that the altered view or the baggage that you brought into this current connection was scary to them, and it was perhaps scary for you. And I feel like that's an important message here as well, that this connection might have, the two of you might have taught and not actually, I wouldn't even say might have. The two of you taught each other a lot from this connection of how even perhaps healthy relationships should be, and how, neither one of you might have been used to each other's patterns within a relationship, and you were able to teach the other person that this is not the way that this is supposed to be going, or this is not the way that we should be communicating with one another. Okay, the next message card to jump out was you are an angel. And then right after that, we have I'm more affected than you know. And I feel like with that card, since the two of you are not in communication with one another right now, is yet again indicating that this person is looking back at this connection. This person is replaying what has occurred between the two of you within this connection. And they do feel regretful of the way that they have acted. The next card to jump out was I don't know how I feel anymore. And I feel like that is because the both of you, and I do feel like a lot of these are perhaps things that you would be saying to this person as well. For some reason, I feel like for you guys, pile one, the two of you might mirror one another a lot when it comes to this connection. That's just something that I feel like I'm picking up on. That the two of you have a lot of the same, maybe not the same exact opinion, but think along the same lines about what has occurred between you both. And with the I don't know how I feel anymore, I feel like that's indicative of there's things that need to be resolved, there's things that need to be healed from, there's past baggage that needs to be dealt with. But there's still this unconditional love between the two of you, and that's what makes it difficult at times. Or like that's what really even emotionally makes things difficult for the two of you to let go of one another with, because there's a large amount of love that the both of you have for one another, but it's just like there's certain things that at the time the two of you were together, it almost like the two of you had to be separated in order to heal these certain things, in order to see that perhaps some of the patterns that you or they were perpetuating were things that needed to be resolved before getting into a romantic relationship. Okay, so we have you are an angel, I'm more affected than you know, I don't know how I feel anymore. Then we have please don't take what happened personally, it's not you, it's me. So with that card, I would say perhaps this person broke up with you, perhaps this person did hit a point where you were challenging them because you knew that there were certain ways that you were not being treated well. And they are the ones that are resolving and having to rethink their behavior, having to reevaluate their behaviors, having to let go of some outdated and conditioned patterns that they have. We then have you inspire me, and your intensity frightens me and allures me all at the same time. And again, even with that last card, even with the last two cards, you inspire me and your intensity frightens me and allures me at the same time, would indicate to me that you, perhaps most of the time, were the challenger. That you saw that this person had, that this connection had a lot of potential because there is a lot of love for one another. However, even though there's a lot of love for one another, if there's certain things that you just know that you don't deserve, or certain things that you're not going to settle for being treated, especially if it is, past conditioning on their part, you would challenge them on that, or challenge them on their way of thinking. And even though at the time it was very difficult for them and it made them very uncomfortable, and it perhaps even caused a breakup, like I just heard something like, they were trying to change me. So this person could have felt like you were trying to change them. And although that is true, it more so seems to me that you're trying to resolve issues within a relationship. As two people that are partnered up should be trying to resolve things. But anyway, I think what I was getting at is that you challenged them, you perhaps were trying to change them, but it more so seems like you were trying to get them to ascend. You were trying to get them to release some of their past baggage so that the same patterns were not perpetuated into the connection between the two of you. And I also just would like to say that not all of these messages are going to resonate 100%. So please take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, we have, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. Again, indicating I feel that this person came in, but not that everybody doesn't have unresolved trauma or baggage at times, but it seems like to me that your person had a lot of unresolved trauma or baggage that they were bringing with them into this connection. And I feel like the messages really solidified that. Even though you might have had some of your own, I do feel like you were the person that perhaps challenged them more, challenged them to release some of their bullshit that they were bringing with them into this connection. Now we have your all I ever wanted. Again, reiterating that the two of you have a lot of love for one another, that there are very strong feelings. I know I made a huge mistake. So again, and I feel like one thing too that I just feel like is continuing to come up here for me at least, is that this person, I feel like they felt challenged. Again, I know I keep using that word, but it's like, I feel like they felt challenged when at the end of the day you were just trying to improve the relationship. You were just trying to, for lack of a better way of putting it, it's almost like you were just trying to make them a better person, make them a better partner. As you were also perhaps actively doing that, because we do have the Ascending card, we do have the Realize Your Light. So again, maybe you were in touch or more in touch with your emotions. You were more in touch with what it was that you would need to heal from, and so on and so forth. And with this person, they looked at it perhaps as you trying to challenge them, when really you were just trying to help them even see things from a new perspective. You were trying to help them see that the perhaps issues that kept coming up between the both of you are not issues that needed to take place in the first place, because the two of you could actively work together to resolve them. And it's like this person took it as a challenge. As a challenger, as you trying to change them. And as I say all of this, something that has continued to come up here, my family and my upbringing are a much bigger factor than I realized. Again, this goes to, I'm happy that I rambled on for way too long about conditioning that they saw while growing up. Okay, conditioning that they saw, attitudes, and maybe even with you as well. Perspectives and attitudes and treatment of one another between parents or guardian figures or other adults in your life during your childhood and your adolescence played a big part within this connection. That past conditioning, what it was that you're used to growing up, or used to seeing people perpetuate, patterns that you're used to you were used to seeing growing up, played a huge factor on this connection. I know it might be too late by the time I figure things out. So again, this person, I do have to say, they are doing the most when it comes to ensuring that they do not perpetuate the same patterns. There's still a lot of love for you, but I feel like this connection would require a shit ton of patience on your part if it were to ever come back together. It would take a long ass time, let's say, for the two of you to get to a point of reconciliation. I also feel like that could be because this breakup is somewhat fresh. And you're irreplaceable. Again, this person still feels very strongly about you. That's another reason why I feel like the breakup itself might be somewhat fresh. or at least being no contact with one another might be somewhat fresh, because this person and you, I feel, still have very, 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 very strong feelings for one another. There we go. Okay, so I don't always feel comfortable sharing my feelings, so please let me know. Please know that I do love you. I will read that again. I don't always feel comfortable sharing my feelings, but please know that I do love you. Regardless of how I acted, I look back on our connection, and I regret not working it out with you at the time. Okay, so that, again, extremely important here, I feel. That this person at times, they looked at certain things that, again, I'm not explaining this perhaps in the best way that I possibly can, but they looked at you trying to come to a compromise, let's say. They looked at it as a challenge. Certain ideals that they had, certain shit coming up from their past, certain things that they were conditioned to think should occur within a relationship. You tried to correct them, and they, again, looked at it as you challenging them or you wanting to change them. And I genuinely feel like you weren't trying to challenge them or change them or start an argument or do this or do that. You were just genuinely trying to resolve certain issues that occurred within this relationship. Okay, we also have the card, I am selfish and I only care about myself. We have, I am sorry that I did not treat you well. We have, I have commitment issues. I'm afraid to express how I truly feel. And do you think that you can give me a second chance? Okay. So the commitment issues here, it doesn't feel like this person cheated on you, but of course, take it how it resonates. To me, it more so feels like, especially when paired with the I'm selfish and I only care about myself card, I feel like this is bringing up more so this person was selfish with their time. Okay, maybe even this person was selfish when it came to emotional intimacy and even especially physical intimacy. You know, like maybe this person thought that they didn't have to put in as much of an effort, whether that is emotionally because they have a very difficult time expressing themselves, or if it was, you know, during sex with one another. Maybe they were very selfish and all about themselves. But I have commitment issues, too many cards came up. I regret not making a move sooner. My intentions are pure. And I feel bad about what happened between us. I wish I had the courage to explain myself. Okay, so again, I feel like what I could explain it as, just quickly, the commitment issues I do feel like have to do with time, effort, and energy, more so than cheating or betrayal. But you would know, if it had something to do with cheating or betrayal, you would already be well aware of that. Okay? This person, the regret of not making a move sooner, I feel like is more so referring to they regret not, making changes to the way that they were acting. They regret that the relationship had to end like this. I have so many cards that either say I feel bad that jumped out right now, or I regret on them. Again, just indicating how badly this person is feeling right now about what occurred between the two of you. And I feel like most importantly, or the main takeaway that occurred here, is they didn't really want to do anything by way of compromise. They might not have been ready for a committed romantic relationship where the two of you would have to learn and grow with one another, where the two of you would have to compromise and continue to put effort into the connection. It seems like at some point they might have checked out, okay, and in terms of their commitment to it. And at times they might have, just not given you what you were giving them. And at times when, if you were to bring that up to them, that could have been something that caused a huge rift between the two of you, because this person felt like they were being challenged when you were just trying to rectify a situation within your relationship. So all in all, I feel like this person is very regretful. I feel like this person is working through the issues and the past conditioning and so on and so forth. I feel like that's something that they are trying to do. But when it comes to them coming back forward toward you, I feel like that is going to be something that requires patience, that's something that's not going to come about for a little while. And by little while, I mean months, if they even do choose to come and move back forward toward you. Because right now, they seem to be very focused on themselves, but they still have a lot of love for you. Okay, so I hope that that makes sense. Pile one, my Herkimer Diamond pile. Thank you so, so, so much for allowing me to read for you today. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. Hello, pile two, my goldstone pile. So today we are doing this messages from your person reading, this what do they want to say to you reading, and we are going to start it off by pulling a couple of oracle cards from the Love Oracle card deck to see what the current energy of the connection is between you and your person before we get into the messages. Okay, so again, I feel like, which I guess why else would you be watching this if the two of you weren't no contact, like no or low contact. So immediately I can see that the two of you are low or no contact with one another. The first card that we start out with is Rewrite Your Story. Okay, and Rewrite Your Story is all about, basically I feel it's a card of manifestation. It's a card of you have figured out what you want in your love life, and perhaps this relationship did not live up to par, or this connection did not live up to par. That this person at times did not give you what it is that you want, need, deserve, and desire within a relationship. And the Rewrite Your Story card is asking, you know, as it pertains to this relationship, it would be a lot of self-healing work on your part and their part to be able to come back together and give one another what it is that you each want, need, deserve, and desire from a romantic connection. But as for this romantic connection, we then have the Splitsville card. Okay, the Splitsville card is indicating leaving quickly, that the relationship devolved or broke down at a quick pace, and also that the two of you are not really keeping in touch right now. The two of you are spending some time alone. Okay, and perhaps spending some time alone to rewrite your story. Okay, how do you want your love life to be? What do you want your next relationship to be like? What do you want your next relationship partner to have? And so on and so forth. Like I said, the Rewrite Your Story card, it really brings me to this message of manifestation. And with this relationship, it might not have been everything that you had wanted it to be. And if you are an avid manifester, you know, maybe you thought that this relationship was going to pan out, but you quickly saw that there were certain things that this person did that were not exactly quite what you were trying to manifest for your love life. And we then have the Snake card, indicating that you might have been competing for this person's attention, either when it comes to somebody else, a person, or you might have even been trying to compete for their attention when it comes to their job and their work life. But overall, you might have constantly felt like you were in competition. This card also indicates that this is malicious in nature. Okay, especially if it had to do with the other woman. Okay, so the card reads competition, enemy, clever, malicious, look over your shoulder, and the other woman. So again, this person might have not lived up to your expectations. Okay, this person might not have lived up to your expectations. This person, you might have even thought that they were a certain type of way. Like, let's say you might have thought that they were like a real nice person to be with. You might have thought that they were somebody that wasn't going to hurt you, but you still felt like you were in competition with someone else or something else within their lives. Okay, they did not meet your expectations. Perhaps the two of you did not want the same things within the relationship. And the other card to hop out was inner work. Okay, heal yourself first, you'll attract what you are. So pile two. And again, as always, This might not all resonate, the messages might not all resonate, but please take what resonates and leave the rest, okay? And if it does not resonate for you, then it is not meant for you. But the inner work card, or again, is bringing me back to this manifestation message that the rewrite message, rewrite your story card brought me as well, because the inner work card talks of, healing yourself first so that you will attract what you are. Okay, and this message of energetic attraction just again leads me to feeling like perhaps the two of you, perhaps you tried to manifest love, are trying to manifest love, or this was a love story that you thought that you were manifesting, and then you at some point realized that this person was not living up to your expectations, or was not exactly what it was that you had intended to manifest into your romantic life. Okay, but again, with the inner work card, this is portraying to me that the two of you are now apart, and you especially are focusing on healing from this connection. And part of the reason why you are perhaps healing, we have destructive habits. Okay, destructive habits, addictions to gambling, alcohol, sex, is negatively impacting this relationship, and toxic thinking and toxic behavior is another aspect of this card. Okay, so again, and you would know this if it happened, but again, this person's time and attention were spent elsewhere. Okay, whether that means that you were competing with their attention because of someone else in their lives, or you were competing for their attention because they did have some type of addiction, or you were competing for their attention because they were a workaholic, and so on and so forth. But this connection did not live up to the expectations that you had of it, is the main gist. And the current energy of this is that the two of you are no longer together, and you are definitely focusing on your own healing, or you should at least be focusing on your own healing. Okay, so what does this person want to say to you? Our connection still affects me. I've looked you up online to see what you've been up to. And at the end of this recording, I'm going to have a picture of all the messages cards laid out. Would you reject me? And I feel like that's definitely a major fear of this person, because this person knows that they did not treat you well while this connection was going on. This person was quite toxic. This person was addicted to something. Okay, whether it be their job, whether it be even attention from other people, and so on and so forth. Okay? They're purporting right now that they are not the same person who you remember them to be. But now we have, maybe we're just too different. And I feel like that is because you have certain expectations. Even with the rewrite your story card, I keep wanting to say love story, and it's like you did. You had this expectation that this person was going to be your person. Or you had this expectation that you and this person at least wanted the same thing. Wanted a committed romantic relationship. But this person is or was in such a bad place in their life when it comes to their addictions, when it came to you having to compete for their time, effort, and energy, and so on and so forth, that the two of you were too different at the time to be able to have a stronger connection, or the strong connection that you had hoped for the two of you to have. If I knew then what I know now, I would have made different choices. And I feel like the different choices that this person would have made is basically technically to not completely fuck this relationship up. Okay, this person, maybe at the time too, was not aware of how destructive their behavior was. And this feels like somebody or someone perhaps from your recent past. Okay? That this feels like recent or distant past, but this feels like somebody more so. What I meant to say was from your distant past, just because it does seem like even this person is recognizing, even if it's on a subconscious level, this person is realizing that they really screwed things up in the past because of their own behaviors. Okay, maybe they did, maybe, you know, they did cheat on you. Maybe they were a gambling addict. Maybe they, you know, drank a lot or went out with their friends a lot and they weren't giving you the time, effort, and energy that you deserved. And this person is realizing that, or this person's realizing that this relationship went downhill so quickly because of their bad behaviors. Okay, the next card to jump out was my mind, and my heart always comes back to you. And that's why I feel like this is somebody that is from your past that you perhaps have on your mind. When my mind and heart always comes back to you, and then we end with no other compares to you. Okay, so this is someone that is from your past. This is somebody who, again, I almost feel like this is somebody from your distant past. Okay, and I also feel like the reason why they'd be scared of you rejecting them also ties into the fact that they are probably from your distant past, because they might feel like at this point, if they were to reach out to you, you would just automatically be like, go fuck yourself. Like, go fuck yourself, bro. Like, I don't understand why you are reaching out to me after all this time. You know? Like, and I'm wondering too if, because like to me with this person, it's almost like if you just put this reading on to put this reading on, and you didn't have a particular person in your mind when you started watching it, I feel like you would be surprised at who's coming through here, if that makes sense. Like, if you did not have a particular person in your head and you put this on, right now you might be thinking like, oh, like so and so from 5 years ago, now they want to apologize, or now they have me on their mind. Like, they barely gave me like the time of day when we were in a relationship with together, but now they know the mistake that they made. So I hope that makes sense for at least a couple of people. But to me, if you just put this on just to put this on, as in watching this, I really do feel like you're like, wow, out of all the people to reach out to me through the ethers, it's this asshole. I see a little part of you in everyone I meet. You've affected my life significantly. And I do feel like there was another card that kind of, our connection still affects me, and you affected my life significantly. And I feel like that is because regardless of what went down between you two, and even perhaps afterwards, this person did recognize that, again, their bad behavior was the number one reason why the two of you devolved so quickly. That their behavior and how much they hurt you and the impact that it had on you did spark for them to go back and to do some of this inner work. Okay, and I feel like especially if this had something to do with betrayal, if this had something to do with addictions, if this had something to do with, toxic behavior or abusive behavior, that this person did look back, they've recognized now. And again, I feel like this is distant past. This person, for some of us, or I would say for most of the people watching this is bringing up somebody from your distant past. And for some of us watching this, you perhaps did not even have this person on your mind when I started talking, basically. But this person has begun to work on themselves. This person, part of, like, basically this relationship, and I don't feel like it happened right away. I feel like it's been happening throughout time, that this person has realized how toxic their behavior is, or how, again, abusive their behavior is, their addictive behavior, their lack of I don't want to say it that way. I was going to say lack of living up to someone's expectations, but it's their lack of prioritizing you, their lack of prioritizing the relationship, their lack of being there for you. You constantly having to, fight for their attention or their effort or their energy. Were all things that resulted in this relationship ending, and ending rather quickly, going downhill fast. And that's because they had so many negative behaviors that were affecting the connection. And since they are now at a point where they recognize that and they're beginning to heal from it, it does seem like you're on their mind, because you this relationship, whether it happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or 10 months ago, this person is using this relationship from their past as almost like a trigger point of them needing to heal. Where they're looking back on this connection, and they have been looking back on this connection that the two of you had, and recognizing things that they need to heal, and that's why you are so significant to them. Okay, and that's why you've affected them so significantly, is because of the fact that they are actively healing parts of themselves that destroyed the relationship that you had with them. Okay, you've really, I guess, you are a trigger to them healing, if that makes sense, and have acted as one. And that's why this connection is so significant. I also feel like that's why they keep coming back to you, because this might be a connection that they have so many regrets from. Because they were not in a good headspace and they did not treat you well. Okay, we have the card, I just got sidetracked, and I feel a special bond with you that I've never felt before. For some of you, I almost feel like this is kind of like a first love vibe, that this could have been your first love, or you could have been their first love, and they did not know how to treat you right. They did a lot of things wrong, and a lot of the things that they did wrong were extremely toxic. Okay, I feel like my mind and heart always comes back to you. The no other compares to you. The I see a little part of you in everyone I meet is really all calling for this being. Oh, sorry, puppy. Really all calling for you. Really all calling back to that this is like a first love, or this is somebody from your distant past, and that you are deeply embedded into this person's psyche, because they still have you on their mind so much. Okay, we have the card, I am just doing what I need to do right now, or I'm just doing what I have to do right now. And again, I'm going to post a picture of everything. I'm trying to think of what I want to say to you. So again, this person, I feel I would not be too surprised if this person does come back with some sort of apology. And at that point in time, especially with the would you reject me, and I'm trying to think of what I want to say to you. Even the I just got sidetracked, to me, it's almost like I'm sorry it took me so long, but I just want to apologize for everything that I did in the past. That type of thing. This person trying to think of what they want to say to you, them being scared that you might reject them. I feel like it's more like if they contact you, they're afraid that you might, again, just be like, I don't understand why you're reaching out to me. It's been years, or it's been months, and we obviously didn't work out. I know it might be too late by the time I figure things I know it might be too late by the time I figure things out. And I feel like for 99.99% of the people watching this right now, it already is too late. And I feel that way because I feel like for most of us watching Pile 2, this is somebody from your distant past. And again, whether it's somebody from 10 years ago or it's somebody from 10 months ago, it's still somebody that you are not really expecting to hear from. It's still somebody that you have done the inner work and you've gotten over, because you know that this person didn't live up to your expectations. You know that this person isn't your love story. Let's see if I can get one more. I was reminded of your scent recently. How romantic. Okay. But I do feel like this person, I know it's like I was reminded of your scent recently, but I do feel like this person really does it. Like it's almost like I used the word trigger before. Oh no, maybe that was for Pile 1. But I do feel like a lot of things trigger this person into thinking about you. Oh, okay. So it was never you. It was always me. I just can't commit. So again, I feel like this person, there's a lot of evidence here that this person either cheated on you or betrayed you in some type of way. Again, this would have happened years ago. You'd already be well aware of it. I feel like this person did not give you, it's, the commitment thing is always either a time, effort, energy, and attention type of thing. It could be a betrayal or cheating, which is what we would typically think of when it says that this person just couldn't commit. And I also feel like this person could not commit because they were so involved and engrossed in whatever their destructive, addictive behavior was as well. Okay? We have Could You Forgive Me? Could We Begin Again coming out. And I also feel like for most of you at this point, you've perhaps already, forgiven this person in your own way. You've already found closure from this connection. I almost feel like this person is almost having like this come to Jesus moment where they are finally recognizing how badly their behavior has been throughout time. And it's almost like you were one of the first people that they perpetuated their behavior toward. And that's why you're on their mind right now. And that's also why this connection is so significant. Because you were perhaps their first love or their first relationship. And, now they're waking up to now they are waking up to the fact that they have to begin to heal and to work on themselves and to begin to get out of these destructive behaviors that they have and they keep perpetuating. The card that jumped out next is, I feel like this is not worth my time. And I feel like at the time, this connection wasn't worth their time, nor is it worth your time. But in their head, they felt like this connection was not worth their time. Okay, especially if they had an addictive behavior. Even if that addictive behavior was work. But if it was drugs and they were a drug addict or an alcoholic or whatever it might be, they perhaps did not feel like this connection was worth their time because you were taking them away from whatever their addictive behavior was, or you were taking them away from their work. Or, again, they did not know how to treat you, and they were perpetuating a lot of toxic and or abusive behaviors. Okay, that card fell all the way over there, so I'm just going to read it. I need to take time away from our connection. And I feel like there's been a lot of time taken away from this connection. Again, I don't feel like the two of you are in contact. I do not feel like, especially the more that we delved into this, I feel like there's been a lot of time not being in contact or this person taking a lot of time away from this connection. I also feel like even though there's a lot here, or not a lot, but there's like a decent amount of this person wanting to come back and apologize, I do feel like it's almost like it will be a cold day in hell before this person does so. This is definitely one of these where it's like this person, because I always say like, this is what the person would say to you if they had the chance or the courage to do so. And this would take a lot of guts, let's say, for this person to come back after what I feel like would be all this time and offer you an apology. All these cards just flippity-doo-dah. Okay, so we also have the card, it was only about the sex. So again, this I feel like, even though it's something that I wrote, I feel like you can interpret it in a couple of different ways. If this person did cheat on you or betray you, they might have told you there was no emotional component to it and it was only about the sex with that person. For others, it could be indicating that this connection that they had with you was just a very physically intimate connection, and they didn't really try to move it one way or the other. They didn't really care, and I feel like the reason why they didn't really care, why they felt like the connection was not worth their time, was because they had some type of destructive or addictive behavior that they kept perpetuating. Okay, we then have, for energy that's taking place, right now, currently, I don't want you to confuse who I was with who I am now. Again, I feel like indicating that this person is healing, and this person is working on that inner work. And then the last card of the day is going to be, I constantly creep on your social media. Okay, so Pile 2, I feel like this was a wild ride. This was a wild ride. Again, I wasn't really expecting to have something like this pop up, but I do feel like for most of us who chose Pile 2, it is going to be about somebody who's more so from your distant past than anything else. Somebody that you might not have even, had on your mind, especially if you just turn this on and listen to a reading without having a very specific person in mind. That this, could have brought somebody up from your distant past who is finally beginning to work on themselves after having quite a destructive relationship with you and acting very destructively in the relationship that they had with you. So I think that is all. Thank you so, so, so much, Pile 2, for allowing me to read for you today. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Hello, Pile 3, my moss agate pile. So today we are doing this What Do They Want to Say? Messages from your person reading. And the first thing that we are going to take a look at is the current energy of the connection. And we already have a card jumping right out. Okay, we have Sunshine. I have a card from another deck that I neglected to pick up from before. So we have the Sunshine card. Good times, positive vibes. Okay. Okay, what is the current energy? 3. Communication. So perhaps for some of you, you are actually in, oh, maybe not. So we have communication and then we have sorry, not sorry. So what I feel like the current energy of this connection is, just based on these couple of cards, is that things were going rather swimmingly between the both of you. The two of you were in communication with one another. There seemed to be this healthy, growing, budding relationship, and now we have sorry, not sorry. And I feel like that sorry, not sorry is indicating that this person almost somewhat stopped. Like that communication might be very low or no contact right now. After a period of time where things seem to be going very well between the both of you. Okay? And at this point, the communication between the both of you is the issue. And it seems like when you try to address this with this person, or if in the past you did try to address this with this person, you got this, kind of sarcastic, false apology, the card says, aloofness, apathy. Okay? And I feel like right now, too, it's like, it's funny because I think that the Realize Your Light card jumped out for another pile, if not both of the other piles. It came out again here. We have Palm Tree, Realize Your Light, and Paradise. And I feel like for you, especially right now, you just want to go back to that happy, fun time, to that stability and security that you once had with this person. And you're perhaps being met with this apathetic energy. Okay, this could be somebody that was a friend to you. That's a strong vibe that's coming out here. This could be somebody that was a friend to you, somebody that you didn't really expect this type of behavior from. And now all of a sudden it's like this person is not really a part of this connection anymore. In this weird way. It's almost like it's just strange because it's this energy of there being a lot of positivity between the both of you, the two of you finding stability and security and happiness and joy from this connection, and then this person just sort of stopping. Okay? Just stopping, and we are going to get to the bottom of why. We also have the Realize Your Light card and the Strategy card, both indicating being clear about what your desires are. And I feel like that might be a part of this too. Like maybe you expressed to this person what it was that you wanted, and it sort of caused some friction in the relationship or within the connection. And the Realize Your Light card indicating you have to be healed to attract healed. And I feel like that's just automatically indicating, which is also something that comes out on the sorry not sorry card, that your person might be harboring hurt and resentment. Okay, they might be harboring this you know, negativity within them. Either they're going through something in their personal life, or their work life. Maybe they're having some type of, you know, personal issues, but it feels like to me that this person has some issues going on within their life, and they are not really, like, they're not exactly who you would need or want them to be at this exact moment. First message card to jump out is I feel safer in the silence. Okay? And also another like message that I just got out of nowhere was this person might be somebody who doubts good things. Like when good things happen to them, they doubt it, they pull away from it. They don't really know how to handle it. If that makes sense, I hope that it's making sense for at least someone. But I feel safer in the silence is the first message. Your person doesn't have a lot to say to you. There we go. I've looked you up online to see what you're up to. Something is still missing for me, and I am trying to figure out what that is. Okay? And again, that brings me to that message that I got of this person doubting a good thing. And the harboring resentment aspect of this, the harboring, it could be harboring past trauma. It could be harboring past resentment or past baggage from other relationships. Okay, I want to be authentic. I am no longer afraid. And our connection still affects me. So right then and there, that's telling you that this person, you are still very heavily on this person's mind. They think about you very often. They're constantly looking you up to see what it is that you're up to. They want to be able to come forward and say something to you, and they want to be able to come forward and to get back to that point where you once were. And then we have, would you reject me? Okay, so again, I'm getting this vibe of this either this being a friend. This, I don't feel like this was somebody that you were ever in a romantic relationship with. This was obviously somebody that you had a lot of good times with. Maybe the two of you dated, but for some of you, I feel like this is a friend. Or this is somebody where there's romantic interest, but nothing super romantic has ever happened between the two of you. Again, like the two of you, and again, what I'm getting from this is this person almost doubting a good thing. Maybe even this person not feeling quite ready to be in a romantic relationship, or at the time, you know, whether this is like if this was a couple of months ago, maybe at the time that person was not ready to be in a relationship yet. And even though things were going so well between the two of you, they pulled back, and they seem to be very uncaring, and even still right now seem to be very uncaring. But to me it's coming up here that they are looking to make some type of contact or some type of forward movement toward you at this point in time. Being apart has been life-changing for me. Yeah, for me, let's see. It's easier to just stay away right now. So whatever their personal issues are, whether it has to do with work, perhaps they don't feel settled within their own life. Maybe they don't have, the strategy card comes up with having a game plan. Kind of, the strategy card, let's just say, it's a card of having your shit together. And I feel like right now your person does not feel like they have their shit together in one way or another. You know, whether it's, you know, on a personal level, they just don't feel like they're ready for a relationship yet. Whether it's on a career level, they don't feel like they're settled enough in their own life. They don't feel like they have anything stable to offer you. And again, this person doesn't seem like someone that you were in a relationship with. This person seems like it's either a friend or it is somebody, a friend that you have had romantic interest in and they've had romantic interest in you, or somebody that was sort of a brief romantic interest, but not someone that you were in a solid, committed relationship with. Okay, so I hope that that makes sense, just to kind of get the vibe of what is going on here. But I also feel like this person's not going to come forward until they feel like they have their shit together. So that length of time might require a little bit more patience on your part, or a lot of more patience on your part. Okay, because there are these messages of this person wanting to come forward, but this person still feels like there's something missing from their life. They still feel like there's some instability in their life. They still feel like it's easier to stay away right now. They're still working on things, and that's why being apart from you has been life-changing for them, because they have been working on getting their shit together. Okay? But they're still heavily invested. That's one thing that I have to say with pile 3. They're still heavily invested within this connection. There's a lot of hope and a lot of promise of this person making positive movement forward toward you. Okay? Perhaps the most promise of any of the piles that we've done here today. Okay, that pile 3 would be the most likely person that is going to come toward you and express themselves to you. It's just going to require patience on your part. I can't take this anymore. Okay, I feel like I can't take this anymore is that they're frustrated with themselves. We have the I'm really bad at commitment. I don't feel like they're bad at commitment in regard to them being a player or a cheater or that sort of thing. I feel like they're bad at committing their time, effort, and energy to somebody else, because they are trying to get their shit together and they can't. It's like they feel like they can't do too many different things at once. Perhaps they haven't had a lot of committed relationships before and they're not ready to, or they don't feel settled enough to be in a committed relationship with somebody else. They're not sure of how to balance the time, effort, and energy that they need for their own life, for their own issues that they have to sort out, and be able to commit time, effort, and energy to a relationship as well. What are you? There are still so many unsaid things between us. Okay? Again, I get this vibe that this is a romantic interest that never quite came to fruition. Okay, so whether this is a friend, whether this is an old-time friend, or whether this is, again, somebody that there's always been this romantic interest with, but the two of you have nothing's ever come to fruition within this connection yet. And I don't know if I said it before. I feel like I cut myself off because the I'm really bad at commitment card came out. But with the I can't take this anymore card, I just get this this indication that there's a lot of frustration when it comes to this person is frustrated with themselves. They're frustrated with their inability to juggle their own life. Okay? They're also perhaps even with them as well, like there was this sunshine, this happy communication between the two of you, and then it's almost like a switch flipped, and they realized, holy shit, things are going really well, and I don't know what to do from here. Like maybe even with this person, and especially if they haven't had a lot of relationships, there's this message here of them, again, kind of being like, oh shit, what do I do? What do I do? Like, things are going really well. Almost like they then dropped off because they're like, I'm not ready for this. And they're frustrated with themselves and their inability to be able to handle this. Okay, let's see. I just got caught up in the moment. That I find very interesting because, again, with actually what I was just speaking on, communication, even romantic communication between the both of you was at a point where things were going very well. Things were going very swimmingly. And it's like this person allowed themselves to get caught up in that. They allowed themselves to get caught up and to feel that happiness and that joy. And it's like, a switch flipped. And that could have something to do with them feeling unworthy of love. or them feeling unworthy of having good things in their lives. You know, again, it's like a switch flip. Like they got so caught up in this happiness that they were feeling with you, and it's like they immediately were like, nope, 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 can't do this. I'm not ready for this, and just kind of either stopped communicating with you altogether, or the communication is very different and very strained now. You know, like you might feel like you are bothering this person when you are trying to speak to them. I can't give up on my responsibilities right now. Again, a lot of personal issues, a lot of work issues. And at the end of the day, another thing too, I feel like I just got this. You might have disrupted their game plan. They might have had a game plan in place of, you know, I'm just going to make up an age here, but by 30 years old, I want to be settled within my career, and then I want to start dating. And then they met you. And you were their sunshine. And you interrupted or you disrupted the game plan that they had in place. They're not ready for a relationship. They weren't looking for a relationship. For a lot of you, this might have been like a happy accident that occurred here. And they're at this point, and they got caught up in that, but they know, or they won't allow themselves to, stray from their game plan because they're not settled and they're not ready. Let's see if we can get any more cards from this deck. Let's see. You still hold a piece of my heart. Again, I do feel like this person is very, 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 very invested within this connection. Okay, my phone rang for like half of a second, so I'm not sure where I left off in my sentence, but this person is very invested in your connection. And as I was shuffling the card, I don't know if I'm cut out for this, jumped out. And again, your person not feeling very settled within their own life. They feel like they have too many personal issues. They're not sure if they can stray from the game plan that they have set out for themselves. And I just want you to be happy. Again, to me, that is indicative of them having feeling very, this is the thing, or this is where it gets a little, maybe perhaps frustrating for you within this connection, is that there's romantic interest on both sides of this, and in one way, shape, or form, romantic interest has, for most of you, been expressed on both sides of this. And your person is very emotionally invested within this connection. And they just want you to be happy. They feel very strongly about you, but they're not allowing themselves to stray from what it is that they have set out to do in regard to their personal life. And like I said, personal life to me can indicate responsibility to others within their life, other family members or friends, work responsibilities, wanting to be settled in one way, shape, or form, or some way, shape, or form. And now we have the card, I've never been so sure of anything in my life. I love you. Okay, and yet again, indicating how strongly this person feels about you. So for most of us, I feel like this is, I feel like this connection could definitely turn into love once your person begins to make forward movement toward you and the two of you are in a relationship. But this person has a lot of love for you, let's say. This person likes you very, very much, but I don't feel like for most of us who are watching this, it would be love at this point in time, if that makes sense. It feels a little bit too, it doesn't feel that settled in. Okay, we have you are the person of my dreams. Okay. We have I constantly creep on your social media. Not sure. And okay, we have I constantly creep on your social media. I don't know why I lied to you, but I could not care less about the repercussions of my lies. We have I constantly creep on your social media. You're too good for me. and I fear emotional intimacy. And I feel like perhaps part of what the lie was in this person's case, of course, take it how it resonates to your situation. And as always, not all of these messages are going to resonate with everybody. So please take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, and not all of these messages are going to resonate with everybody. So please, as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. And if it does not resonate, then that means that it was not meant for you. But with the, I don't know why I lied to you, but I could not care less about the repercussions of my lies. I feel like what this person would have been most likely to lie to you about in most cases is that they were ready to start a relationship. Or almost like this person, like let's just say this person at times maybe played along, not played along in a player sense, but this person does have romantic interest in you and you have romantic interest in them. So they've expressed that to you and expressed to you in one way, shape, or form that they would be ready to carry out this relationship with you. And that was something that they lied about or lied by omission about. Okay, that's something like basically they made it seem as though they were ready for a relationship when they really weren't. Okay, and their apathy, their sudden apathy, the sudden friction that now exists between the two of you, or issue that now exists between the two of you, is as a result of them thinking that they were ready for something when they really knew that they were not. Okay? We also have, I fear emotional intimacy and I have never been good at expressing my feelings. And we have, I hope you have not moved on. Okay, so even with the being fearful of the emotional intimacy and not being able to express this person not being able to express their feelings, we now have, I'm too shy to make a move, jumping out on top. Oh my goodness. I'm too shy to make a move. Again, just indicating that this person, there's romantic interest. This person at times has portrayed to you that there's romantic interest, or you have knowledge that this person has romantic interest in you, but they're at a point now where they do not want to stray away from whatever their game plan is. Okay, and they also seem to be like quite reserved, let's say. I think about you all the time. Quite shy, quite reserved. I'm too shy to make a move. Of course, displays that. Them not being good at expressing themselves displays that as well. And I don't know how to tell you how much you mean to me, but I truly do love you. Very similar to the first card that jumped out, and that'll be the last card that I pull. But here's the thing. This person, you are on this person's mind a lot. This person feels very strongly about you. This person wants something with you in the future, but they're not willing to stray from their own game plan, which might become frustrating for you, especially since this person does have feelings for you and they're not doing anything about them. So when it comes to this pile, never stay stuck in this waiting energy, because when we are in this waiting energy, we are missing out on other meaningful connections that we can be forming in love and in life. Okay? But this person feels very, very strongly about you. And another thing as well that I would like to say is that you might grow to be frustrated with them, even with that sorry, not sorry card, because you are ready right now. You feel stable and secure within your life. You feel ready to start a relationship. And part of what could be occurring here as well is that you're not understanding why there isn't some sort of compromise, or you might not be understanding why this person won't stray from their game plan and just take a chance on this love connection. And as we could see, there were many, many reasons why. You know, there was many things that they are just, at this point, they're unwilling, like almost like they're not willing to bend. You know, they're not willing to bend on this. And that's where I feel like you might grow frustrated at times with this connection and not really wanting to get stuck in that waiting energy. You might decide to move forward from it. but this person is absolutely going to be making positive movement forward toward you. It truly just depends on whatever the hell their game plan is. And if you're privy to that information, maybe you feel like this is something that you want to continue to be a part of. But if this is something that this person is going to struggle with, like a goal that they're struggling to get to, or if this is somebody that like this person has potential, but this person also has the potential at times to never feel settled to be in a relationship. Okay, so I hope that that makes sense, but this person is highly likely to reach out to you. This person's highly likely to want to have a relationship with you when all is said and done. But for others, this person might keep you waiting for way longer than you have patience for. So I hope that that makes sense in that regard. And I will post a picture of all of the messages cards together at the very end of this. So before then, though, I just want to say thank you so much, Pile 3, for allowing me to read for you today. I hope that this was able to bring you some clarity and some insight into what the hell is going on with this with this person. So thank you so much, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.